It's Rob!
Tony!
We're in gaming!
And that's you!
Hello inmates and welcome back to the Inn. I'm Rob, of course, our War Shack if you want to call me by my in-game name, and today we're going to be going over the Totem Shaman deck and making the deck guide on that. So, as you veteran inmates know, and you newer inmates may not know, we talk about the deck beforehand, we talk about all the cards in it, the synergies that kind of work along with it, what we can expect the opening mulligans to be. We talk about kind of why I have the cards in there, why there's only one copy of one card, why there's two copies of some cards, and all the kind of information that goes along with just taking a look at the deck in general. From there, we're going to go in and play some ranked with the deck. Currently, I think we're around 600 legends, so we're playing, some semi-decent people. And we'll talk about, again, the deck, the synergies within our hand, the cards within the deck, and mulligans against the classes that we go against, along with just basically how to play the deck and what to think about each and every turn when playing it. So without further ado, let's go in and talk about the deck list. Keep in mind, guys, in this particular deck guide, normally we're pretty uppity, but today I'm extremely tired, and I'll tell you guys, it's because of the spider, and I'll tell you the spider story once we get into the games, and we might have a break in the couple turns, but man, oh man, last night was, the spider, man. All right, so opening up with the Totemic Might, a card never before seen and definitely not played competitively, but I found that one Totemic Might in this deck is just enough in combination with the Wicked Witch Doctor, which I originally gave a pretty bad review to, but through further testing, it's actually proven to be really, really strong in this deck, especially if you have at least, 2 or 3 totems down and you have maybe a Thunder Bluff as well. So we'll talk about Totemic Might more so during the game because its ability is pretty straightforward. It's a 0 cost, give your totems +2 health. It's a pretty dry card in your hand unless you have cards like the Wicked Witch Doctor or Thunder Bluff or Totem Golems out, in which they then get buffed. The Lightning Bolts are pretty standard and stable in most of the Shaman decks for the most part. Because of how many totems we're going to be summoning, Spell Power Totem is pretty easy to come by, so it doing 4 damage and being able to take out other players' totem golems or frothing berserkers is pretty important. The Primal Fusion goes with it being a Totem Shaman deck. Most of the time we have at least 2+ totems out during the mid to late game, allowing this to be a 1-drop, give a creature +2/+2, but most of the time 3/3, which is absolutely insane whether you're trading or using it for burst damage. The Rockbiter weapons are a little bit interesting, right? Because you're like, well, you have no Doomhammer in this deck. What the hell are you doing, Rob? Where the hell's your burst and how do you win? The Rockbiter weapon, because we're summoning so many totems, we're actually using the totems to make the trades. And these totems don't really cost us any cards to extend because they're just totems. So being able to Rockbiter a totem and killing off a totem, we do extend the Rockbiter, but most of the time we're able to make a trade that we otherwise weren't able to make. And it's very minor, the board that we lose. So also, you can Rockbiter face and kill off, one of those low, like let's say a Mana Worm, a Sorcerer's Apprentice, another Tunnel Trog. So there's a lot of situations which Rockbiter comes in handy. The Tunnel Trog, again, one of the staples in the Shaman deck. He's just too good not to play. Yeah, I'm not even going to go over him. He's just broken in all aspects. The knowledge is interesting, right? Because you're like, Rob, this is a Totem Shaman deck. Why don't you play 2 Mana Tide totems? Well, first of all, the Tunnel Trog synergizes well with the knowledge. Also, let's say we're in a top deck war. The knowledge, due to the fact that you can draw 2 cards right away and you don't have to, have it live on the board like a Mana Tide totem, you draw the 2 cards like instantly. On top of that, we're running 2 Mana Tide totems. If you have a Mana Tide totem in your opening hand, or if you have 2 of them, it's just a card that, as it's good, if it sits on the board, it's just not a card that you can extend right away, right? It's good while you're, competing for the field or you're ahead. But I found knowledge to be a little bit more consistent. It also is a spell that combos with the Witch Doctor, right? So a lot of this deck, you see cards like Lightning Storm and the Maelstrom Portal, which are pretty cheap field CCs that combo well with the Witch Doctor, along with the Lightning Bolt, Primal Fusion, Rockbiter, and Totemic Might. All of those are cheap spells which you combo with the Witch Doctor to bring out as many totems as possible, and then be able to buff them with Thunder Bluff, which is essentially the Totem Shaman deck in a nutshell. So I found the knowledge is just, it's a good card in general. You could make the argument, take out one of these, put in another Mana Tide totem. I'm sure the deck will perform very, very similar, but I just like the double knowledge. especially since you run out of steam in this deck extremely quickly due to the fact that there's so many low-cost spells. Also, the fact that your Tuskar Totemics can grant you Mana Tide Totems. Not that you can depend on that, but it's still, when it happens, you're like, all right, I'm glad I was able to draw 2 and it ripped the Mana Tide. So the Flame Tongue Totem is pretty much, again, one of the staples in the deck. It's a totem, so it counts to discount your thing from below. It also allows your other totems to be pretty beefy and to make trades on their own, which normally they would not be able to do. The Maelstrom Portal, I actually played around this card quite a bit. Due to the fact that we're running double Lightning Storm, I'm only running 1 Maelstrom Portal, but you could make the argument to maybe run 2 Maelstrom Portals and only 1 Lightning Storm. But I found the Storm is just a little bit more consistent. The fact that it does 2 to 3 damage, and most of the time 3 to 4 if you have a Spell Power Totem out, while the Maelstrom Portal does do 2 damage to everything. Sometimes you're looking to push that little extra damage, and this having to summon the 1-cost minion is just not worth it to me in the long run, versus you being able to clear maybe an entire board versus only half the board with Maelstrom Portal. But, you know, there is merit to putting in another one if you feel fit. Again, just kind of on a side note, this is just the foundation for the deck, guys. If you disagree with me in any one of these cards and you want to make changes, by all means, make those changes, test the deck, and that is the way you want to play it. I know every single player has their own play styles and their own kind of sort of way to build and play decks and make changes as you see fit. So by no means be like, oh, this is the deck, I have to play it like this. No, make changes as you see fit, guys. Just use this as kind of like a foundation of what, you know, to build. Double Totem Golem, not going to really explain that. It's just broken. The double Hex, this is basically just like in Dragon Tempo Warrior, you'd run 2 Executes. This is basically your 2 Executes, as they do cost 2 extra mana. They don't have to be damaged, so it's just kind of your removal. The Lightning Storm is because of how much cancer's on ladder. It's just having Lightning Storm when you're going against the zoo is like a make or break, right? So they gain board, there's nothing you can do, rip the Lightning Storm, you win. We've kind of been over the Mana Tide Totem. The Tuskar Totemic basically wins you games on his own. You play this, if you let's say you have coin, you coin this out on 2, it gives you Totemic. Most of the time your opponent will concede. And if you just play it on 3 or even later in the game, due to the fact that it summons a totem combo, it synergizes well with your thing from below, synergizes well with your Thunder Bluff, synergizes well with Totemic Might, Primal Fusion. It's just a great card, and the fact that it has the 3 and 7 chance to pull out a Flame Tongue, a Mana Tide, or a Totem Golem is insane. The Totem Carver, a little interesting. So this is a card you can also replace with if you want to throw in another Mana Tide and another Maelstrom Portal, but I found most of the time you have at least 2 or 3 totems out, so it's basically your 4-drop 7/7, but you don't have to pay the overload cost. On top of that, it's just a solid card. I mean, even if you can't play it, you know, with the other totems, it's still a 4-drop 4/4, which isn't as good as a Chill One Yeti, but it has the potential to be a lot better. So I found one of them just enough in this deck. You always seem to draw it or have it when you have at least 2 or 3 totems on the field, and a 6/6 for a 4 mana is pretty good. Wicked Witch Doctor, not going to explain that too much other than the fact that you combo this with your spells. Most of the time, you do not want to play this card when you have, like, let's say it's going on turn 4 and you have, you know, a Totemic Might you have like a Totemic Might in your hand, a Primal Fusion, and a Lightning Bolt. You might want to save this till maybe turn 5 or 6 where you can get some value out of it. Summons the totems, you're able to buff those totems up. You don't necessarily have to play this naked, and just hopefully it lives, because you are paying a pretty high premium for it. The 4-drop 3/4 is not the best in stats, but its ability allows you to definitely fill up your board for that Thunder Bluff Valiant, which is going to generate most of your value. So this deck, your win condition is being able to swarm the board with totems, and your opponent either concedes because they are so scared of Bloodlust that they just give up, which has happened a lot, surprisingly. I don't run Bloodlust because everybody plays around the Bloodlust. So you're essentially getting the benefit of having Bloodlust in the deck because everybody expects it, and not having to play it, because a 5 mana card that doesn't do anything if you're behind is really bad. Like if you're like in a top deck war between you and another like Face Shaman, and you top deck a Bloodlust and they top deck a thing from below, you're not doing too good. So that's why I'm not running Bloodlust. You can again take out the Totem Carver, put in a Bloodlust. I'm sure it'll do good, but I find it's just behind my reasoning what you've heard. I don't think it's really needed. Everybody just kind of plays around it anyway, or they'll concede even if you don't have it. Your Thunder Bluff is basically your mid-game to late-game win mechanic. Once you've got 2 to 3 totems on the board, you just go ahead, throw the Thunder Bluff down, combo it with a Primal or a Totemic Might or a Primal Fusion. It's just GG, no rees. And your thing from below is basically your 0-drop 5/5 with taunt. Who wouldn't want a 0-drop 5/5 with taunt? Unless he's in your opening hand, then obviously he's going to be pretty bad. But for the most part, this is a great card. And it also reminds me of the creature from Stranger Things. So if you've seen that TV show, you definitely can relate. So why not just throw a Stranger Thing creature in there? The thing wrecks people. So, all right. So now that we've talked about the deck, and hopefully you've got a small, or well, hopefully an in-depth understanding of the deck, but at least, you know, a basic concept is, hey, this is how a Totem Shaman deck is mostly going to curve out and play, and why the cards are in here. We'll head into the games, so we'll go ahead and do that. Rob, please make the cut, and thank you. All right, so heading into our first game here, we are going to be playing against the Huntard. He's rank 1, so he's looking to get that legend rank. So unfortunately, we may have to be the gatekeeper on this guy, but it's our job playing the Totem Shaman, right? Nah, maybe he'll get it, maybe he won't. If he gets it, I don't know, with that Tunnel Trog Totem Golem hand, I don't know about this Hunter's gonna do too well. So, obviously we know they have a fairly good curve in the early game, playing a bunch of 2/3 creatures, 3/2 creatures, and 1/1 creatures that turn into 3/2 creatures. So, depending on what he plays, it's gonna kind of go on with what we play, but most of the time you always just, oh my god, this is disgusting. So, it's gonna be rough for this guy. So far, the curve has spoken for itself, or has spoke for itself. Kind of just Tunnel Trog into Totem Golem, plays the same way as any normal mid-range Shaman has played thus far. The only minor change is maybe having the Witch Doctor in your hand. We know our turn 2 is probably going to consist of just the hero power, based on the fact that we can't Totemic. Now, I wish this was maybe a Taunt Totem, right? Because then we could defend it, and it would use a weapon charge, but we didn't get that lucky. So looking at next turn, you see the Witch Doctor, you're like, all right, well, turn 4 just Witch Doctor, right? But even using the Tuskar Totemic and floating 1 mana actually seems pretty good. So if we had the Ripperonis. So, now is the question, right? He's got a hero power, which does, or his weapon, which does 3 damage, and then when this guy has 4 HP, which means he's looking to do 1 damage. Hunters have a really bad, they're not good at dealing 1 damage besides having On the Hunt, which I'm assuming he doesn't have. His turn 4 is either Houndmaster, Infested Wolf, or another animal companion. If we go with Tuskar Totemic, you better believe Tuskar Totemic is going to die to the Eagle Horn Bow. We have 2 totems on the field and no ability to really do anything else. So I think playing the Witch Doctor here, like you had heard me say, playing it naked is pretty bad in this situation. There's not a better play. Like, there's no spells in our hand saying, hey, you should hold on to this card for a future burst turn. It's basically double Hex and Tuskar Totemic. It looks like it's gonna die, but at least he used Unleash the Hounds now, instead of using Unleash the Hounds later when we have a field full of totems, which would actually be really bad. We're going to save the hexes for when he plays Savannah Highmane. We could go ahead and play the Thunder Bluff, as he still can't kill it with anything he has going on, and we do have 1 totem down. Or we could go with the Tuskar Totemic, use hero power. Our turn 6 will consist of probably Hex, Lightning Bolt, hero power, but then we can't Thunder Bluff on turn 7. So playing the Thunder Bluff now feels pretty bad, but it looks like, again, it's one of our only moves, because playing the Tuskar Totemic, it just dies to that 2/1 Fiery Bat, unless we rip the Mana Tide Totem or the Flame Tongue Totem, at which we can make the trade with our current Healing Totem at that point in time. We also have to suspect if he has a Houndmaster, you would have to trade in both into this, which means we would go ahead and Lightning Bolt and Totemic. So I think the Thunder Bluff is the correct play here based on what we've seen thus far. So even if he Houndmasters, we get to kill 2 creatures, and then we can just Lightning Bolt the Houndmaster, followed up with a Totemic and hero power. Kill command is an ouchie boo-boos. At least that's 5 damage less to our face that we have to worry about. And it looks like he makes the trade into the totem. So there's our Flame Tongue Totem. The question is, do we go ahead and Lightning Bolt this this Fiery Bat? And I think we do. Because if we don't, it's gonna die to this Tuskar, and I really don't like that at all. So we're gonna Tuskar now, see what it brings us. A Mana Tide Totem, that's extremely good. If we can get the Taunt Totem, that would have been even better, because then he can, if he Eagle Horn bows, it can't actually kill the Mana Tide right off the bat. But I think it's going to be fairly safe, because this is normally the Savannah Highmane turn, and we've had double Hex in our hand basically since the start. So now we're going to easily be able to deal with this Savannah Highmane, and we have a whole bunch of other options, right? So we know we're starting off this turn with a Hex. Like nothing changes that. So let's get that out of the way. Now we can go with the knowledge to draw, but we really don't need draw because we have Mana Tide Totem down. So now our option is, do we want a Flame Tongue Totem Primal Fusion, which actually seems pretty good, or we could go ahead and Hero Power Primal Fusion, which is also pretty good. And this is what I was saying, where most people just go ahead and concede, right? The power of the Totem Shaman. All right, so the spider story. So last night it's like 11 o'clock. And I'm going upstairs to get myself a drink of water. As I'm about to reach my stairs to go upstairs, there's this spider at the bottom of the stairs. You're like in a little, like, you know, right below the bottom step. And this thing's the size of my fucking hand. We're talking about man-eating spider here. Like things that, like, just not good things this thing was bringing out, man. So in our opening hand, I actually like keeping the Rock Biter and the Tunnel Trog. The Tunnel Trog, obvious reasons, the Rock Biter because it trades well into other Tunnel Trogs. So this spider. Now we'll talk about the deck and we'll I don't know, we'll figure it out. Give me a second, I need a drink. So I guess we just play the Tunnel Trog and see what happens. So this spider. So I see the spider, I'm like, all right, well, obviously I'm gonna have to kill it somehow. No towel is gonna trick this spider. This spider, its size is like this, its brain is the size of like a dolphin's brain. This thing is too smart to get hit by a towel. So I do what any skilled marksman does. I've been taught how to use a rubber band very effectively over the course of my lifetime. I can shoot a rubber band to the point where it's scary good. If you don't believe me, ask Tony. Yeah, so hold on. So we can Rock Biter our Tunnel Trog to make trade with his Totem Golem. He has 2 mana next turn, hero powers. We could go coin into Tuskar, but then he's gonna go ahead and trade his Totem Golem into our Tunnel Trog, at which point it'll have 3 HP, and then we can follow up with using our hero power and a Rock Biter onto it, which we would have done this turn anyway. So I really, really don't mind this at all, due to the fact that this is the same thing we would have done this turn, no matter what, right? So I run in the room, I grab me like 2 or 3 rubber bands. I take aim from approximately, I don't know, I wanna say like 5 to 10 feet away, somewhere in there. Makes trade with Tunnel Trog. And then we'd Rock Biter ourselves in hero power, therefore allowing our thing from below to get pretty buffed up. Ooh, the lightning bolt actually. Either way, we know we're going to be hero powering. Now the question is, do we lightning bolt or do we not lightning bolt? The thing is here, if we lightning bolt, we're overloading ourselves, and then we have 3 mana next turn, which means we can't play thing from below. And this whole particular match is all about the tempo. So we're just gonna kill off as much shit as we can. And the reason we killed this totem is because we have healing totem. It's gonna heal our guy back up, and it's gonna allow our searing totem to live, which means if we need to, we can double primal fusion next turn and lightning bolt, or double primal fusing hero power, which means we're actually gonna be able to do 2 1/1s that'll be able, oh my god, this is gonna be so good. All right, spider story can hold on. Okay. So he goes for the smork. So we're gonna go with the Totem Golem. So if we hit this, it's gonna make it a 4/4, and if we hit this, well, this would be a 3/3. Yeah, we're gonna hit this totem. And then we're gonna hit this totem. And then now, we can make this trade. Yeah, make this trade, and this trade. And I think we've just won. All right, so we've taken aim with this rubber band. We've fired 1 warning shot, and by warning shot, I fucked up because we missed. And he scurries into our storage room. Oh my god, this is insane. So we get to hero power again. If we play Totem Golem, we can actually play the thing from below too. No, we can't. I lied a lot. All right, so we can actually, do we want to make this trade? No, because it doesn't get healed. Yeah, the Totem Golem's fine for us to make the trade. Puts more damage face. So hit it. Kind of. Scurries, conceded again. Scurries into the other room. He hides for like 25 minutes plus. We finally track and locate the target. I shoot him with a rubber band, knock off a leg. He gets stunned. I follow up with the second rubber band shot from a much closer range because, you know, he's wounded, he's stunned, he's dazed, he's disoriented, the spider's down. He falls from the wall. We hit him with the 9. He does like half the curl leg. We follow up with 1 to 2 towel shots. He's done. We've killed the creature. And at this point in time, it's been, I want to say 45-ish minutes into our spider hunt, and there's almost a definitely don't want to keep the thunder. We don't keep the hex. There's merit to keeping the witch doctor, but it's just not good to keep right now because we already planned to coin out the totemic, and that's 1 spell in our hand, which means we're not playing the witch doctor until, oh, she came back anyway. Never mind. But anyway, yeah, so we stayed up like, it was like 45 minutes of tracking and killing, and then I couldn't go to sleep for an additional 45 minutes because I was, you know, it was a pretty intense encounter. I mean, when you fight a boss and the boss encounter takes 45 minutes, it takes at least 45 minutes to calm down afterwards. I mean, it was not, you guys don't understand, this spider was no joke. Its eyes were big enough so it could glare at you. Have you seen a spider's eyes big enough where it actually can glare at you? Like, yo, you ain't about to kill me. I'll kill you when you're sleeping because I'm a hiding. So, anyway, let's go back to the game. But yeah, I just figured I'd tell you the spider story because that shit's intense. I fucking hate spiders. I hate cockroaches, and I hate palmetto bugs. Those are the 3 things that I cannot stand in this world. Alright, so I think we can go coin into Totemic, and Totemic's gonna give us Totem Golem because we're playing a Totem deck and we just win, right? Ooh, Flame Tongue, that's good. Okay, so far so good with the Totem Shaman deck. Smashing, thrashing, bashing. Good stuff. This is such a good hunter card. The Kindly Grandmother is such an, it's basically a 2-drop 4/3. Alright, so Eagle Horn into Flame Tongue, face for 1. Alright. So now our options are, we could bump this, Lightning Bolt the 3/2 and Hero Power, or we could just Totemic again and go face. We're going on turn 4, so Houndmaster is a problem. So I actually like going about dealing with this card now. Well, actually, if we Lightning Bolt it, we get overloaded. And what's the problem with overload? I don't mind overload this turn. I mean, we could Rockbiter it too. I mean, that's always an option. Rockbitering it doesn't feel that bad. Yeah, Rockbitering it doesn't feel that bad. If we can get a Taunt Totem here, that'll be huge. Alright, Searing Totem, that's fine. But at least it's a totem that can attack, as long as it's just not Healing Totem, right? Because Healing Totem heals our 3/1 back up to a 3/2, but it still dies to the Eagle Horn. So that's not good. So there's quite a few options next turn. We go like Flame Tongue Totem, Hero Power, make trade with this into like a 3 HP creature. Okay, so the Huffer can actually die. Oh no, not if he makes this trade. Look at him go. This guy knows what's up. Thrashing, dashing, bashing, crashing. All right, so we could go Tuskar and then into Lightning Bolt. Ooh. So I still think we Lightning Bolt. And then next turn we go Witch Doctor into Totemic Might. Or we could go Witch Doctor into Primal Fusion. And I'll actually give +2/+2 because it summons the totem before the totem hits the ground. So it like summons it and then the spell goes off, which means if like you play Witch Doctor and go Lightning Bolt and then it rips out a spell power, you can actually deal 4 damage instead of 3 because it summons the totem afterwards, which I didn't know at first. Okay. So it looks like that's not an option because we have 4 mana and I lied. So we could go Flame Tongue Totem Primal Fusion. Or we could go Witch Doctor Totemic Might. That doesn't feel good. It looks like this is the better choice. So we go Totem. And then we could go with the Primal Fusion. This makes this trade here. And then this can go face. And we could guess we go Totemic Might, but there's no point. I'd rather save that next turn for the Witch Doctor. We go Witch Doctor, Hero Power, Totemic Might, and win. Oh man, Unleash the Hounds. So that was the merit to using Totemic Might, right? Because then Unleash the Hounds wouldn't be able to clear our board, but it's still not that bad because he basically used his Unleash the Hounds to clear our board, and the Flame Tongue Totem is still going to live unless he has Quick Shot or another Eagle Horn Bow, which I think he's just going to hero power, hopefully. If our Flame Tongue Totem can live, we're still in this. If it dies, we're going to have to... Ooh, good stuff, that good stuff. The good stuff, the good stuff. Alright, so it's actually going to be able to generate quite a few totems from this and buff them all up. Well, bam! The power! Alright, so now we hope that he does not have Savannah Highmane, because Savannah Highmane is always a scary, scary, scary card. Alright, Infested Wolf, not that big of a deal. Still a card we're going to want to kill. Kill commands the Witch Doctor. Okay. Alright, so I guess we go Witch Doctor, Tunnel Trug, Knowledge. Wow. So we attack. I don't really like that. It's gonna bring these down to 2 and then he can kill them. So I actually just like this better. I know if he has Call the Wild, it's really bad for us, but we have double Lightning Storm in our hand. So I mean, if we had, I guess we had Bloodlust, we could have won, but we'd be winning now if he doesn't have Call the Wild, but he has Call the Wild. Please don't top deck Call the Wild. Just have it in your hand, don't top deck it. When you top deck cards like Call the Wild, which you just did, it just makes my job so much harder, because it's not like, wow, look at you. You've had it the entire time and you've had to deal with having an 8-drop since turn 1. No, it's just like casually, I'm just gonna draw into the card that basically just either wins me the game or makes this huge comeback mechanic. So I guess we just, if we hero power and Lightning Storm, that means we can't double Lightning Storm. And we also have the chance to get a spell power from here. So I'd rather just go for the double Lightning Storm, to be honest. It's just mine as well. So there's the no spell power totem there. Hits 3 on there, of course no 3. So I guess we just Lightning Storm again. Spell power, all right, good, but it doesn't matter now. We wanted spell power before. So we're gonna kill off one of these beasts. We actually could kill both beasts, so we go face and then, this is a hard one. I think we just go face with one of these and it's gonna heal it back up. So I guess we get punished if he has Houndmaster. But not going face for 7 feels bad. Unleash the Hounds is always good. It's interesting to see hunters go back to playing double Unleash the Hounds. We know Tunnel Trog's gonna die. He still has 6 mana. Such a comeback card. Look at this. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that. Look at the luck. Look at the luck. Look at the skill. Look at the skill. Look at the luck. All right. Well, let's see if it's a Frost Nova or a Freezing Trap. Hey, what do you know? All right, so Hero Power Totem Golem, or we go Totemic Carver, which is a 5/5, and he has currently 6 doggies. So I think we go Carver here.
Elements I like. Totem.
Puts the most power on board. Alright, well, it was a close one. What could we pull? We already used double Lightning Storm, so that's not gonna happen. I guess we could get the Maelstrom Portal. That's always a thing, right? No Maelstromies. Well, Mana Tide is still a thing, so unfortunately we can't go Witch Dog. Well, I guess that's fine. Well, then we can't Hero Power, but at least it's a 3/4 on board. So how much damage does he have? He has 5, 9, 11, so he needs 4 damage. So if he draws any sort of, Houndmaster's not it, but if he draws Unleash the Hound, Call the Wild, then he can just kill off his 1/1s and then Call the Wild. Maelstrom Portal would be super clutch though. He top decked the Call of the Wild, so why don't you top deck me Maelstrom Portal? Whew. So how much damage? She has 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have to be able to do something this game. And that's not it. So even if we go this into this, I guess we'd need Taunt Totem, but I don't think that's enough either. All right, so what is this? He has, let's say this absorbs 2. So this is what, 7, 8, 9. So if he doesn't, he needs 2 damage. He needs the 2 damage. So if he goes face and he puts us at 2, and he doesn't kill Tunnel Trog, our Totem Golem, and he doesn't kill Thunder Bluff, we play the other Thunder Bluff and we draw into Lightning Bolt, and this will be 7, 8, and 9 damage. And then the Totem gives us a spell power, and then that hits for 4. That's the best I got, folks. Or he could actually just, yeah, if he attacks in with his 1/1 and then his Huge Toad first, no, it'd still put us at 1. All right, so our best out is he goes face, we draw Lightning Bolt, and then we roll Spell Power Totem. Because there's some big ifs, but yep, so we're gonna be put at 1. Unless he doesn't kill the totem. I wouldn't even mind if he kills the Totem Golem, because then we could just Thunder Bluff and then make a new dude, and it gives us a new taunt. Then it's a 4/2 taunt. So we'd want this Toad to hit the oh no, come on. You had 3 targets and you hit the worst one. All right, so this is 7, 8, 9. So I suppose we go into the Flame Tongue Totem here. We know this trades here, right? I mean, yeah, there's no, it has to trade there. And then where do we put this? Do we put it right here? Or do we put it on the other side? And then we hero power, so our totem gets buffed by that too. I don't think it really matters, does it? No. So we have to roll taunt. Have to get taunt. All right, he wins. Rip. All right, so that was our first loss with this. Not too bad, not too bad. We'll play a couple more. Kind of sucks that we lost to that one. Well, the 2 turns actually. The Unleash the Hounds, which the second Unleash the Hounds was bad. You don't play around the second Unleash the Hounds, and then the Call the Wild off the top, and then the Lightning Storm not killing the Infested Wolf, meaning that we had to trade because it didn't pop the other dudes. So, all right, so we're playing against. I'm assuming this is a Zoo Warlock. I don't think it's that poor of a matchup. We'll keep 1 Lightning Storm just in case it is Zoo Warlock. So obviously Tunnel Trog and Totem Golems and Totemics are what you basically want in your opening hand every single game, no matter what your matchup is. Rockbiter is good to keep against all classes besides Priest, for the most part, right? Even Warrior, maybe keeping the Rockbiter is good because it kills the Alexstrasza's champion, kills Sir Finley. Yep, so he is a Zoo. And he's gonna coin into their Flame Imp or a Void Walker. Void Walker it is. We've got double Totem Golem start, which is pretty good, along with the Maelstrom Portal. So I mean, these are all cards that we like in this matchup, besides maybe Flame Tongue Totem, because we don't need to trade up into anything, right? So because all his cards max 3 HP, besides him having the Councilman, which is 5. So, but we don't have to worry about that just yet. Soulfire. If he Soulfires this because he's targeting it, hopefully it doesn't get rid of the Silverware Golem, because that's just bad. That's just almost an automatic loss. All right, so he Soulfires. Knife Juggler is a good get rid of there, and now we just play the Totem Golem, and he's down to basically just 4 cards, and we are sitting pretty. The Totemic Might here does not feel very good. So he's gonna tap. Does he have a 1-drop to follow up? Hopefully no Abusive Sergeant. The Abusive Sergeant. And now he's going to be able to kill it off, so maybe using the Totemic Might was the correct play there, but it just didn't feel good, right? So if we use Maelstrom Portal, it feels good, right? Because you kill 2 creatures, but the problem is it's gonna hit the egg, and the egg is gonna summon a 2/1, which is basically only killing a 1/1 on this entire board. We're heading into turn 4, so Defender of Argus is always a thing. So even using Hex onto the Dragon Egg, that feels pretty bad. That feels really bad. So I guess we're just gonna Hero Power, and that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. So it looks like using the Totemic Might on just the Totem Golem was the correct play there, as it would keep it alive and allow us to make the trade into the Dragon Egg and then follow up with the Maelstrom Portal, which would be just great. All right. So if maybe we can Hero Power again and get the Spell Power Totem. All right, not too lucky this time. So we Maelstrom, it's bad, and if we Lightning Storm on a field like this, yeah, it does not feel great either. Hexing this Dark Iron Dwarf means whenever he plays the Sea Giant or the Doom Guard, we don't have a true answer for it. But if we Lightning Storm now and the Lightning Storm hits us for 3, then we can actually Maelstrom Portal next turn. I don't like Maelstrom Portaling now. So I guess we Lightning Storm and hopefully it hits this for 3. Hits that for 3, but does it hit the, hits it for 2. Darn. Getting pretty unlucky here, folks. Getting pretty unlucky. So we're gonna hopefully be able to Hero Power into a Spell Power Totem. That's going to be our answer with the Maelstrom here. All right, so he's gonna play another 1-drop and another 2. So again, Spell Power Totem is going to be our kind of key to victory here. I know it's not a high chance, 25%, and we hit it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Dude, eventually you're gonna hit it, right? So we can draw into Witch Doctor. We can go like Witch Doctor, Totemic, or Witch Doctor, Knowledge into Totemic, have 3 on board, and it'll be pretty good. Just playing the Councilman here is not that scary, as we can just Flame Tongue Totem. All right, Thing from Below is gonna make a difference. So Hero Power, Flame Tongue feels pretty good. So we Hero Power. Put a Flame Tongue here. We put a Flame Tongue here. We make this trade there. We can actually, yeah, this is pretty dirty. And that's basically GG. Nice. Even with some not so good luck, we were able to make the burst with the totems we needed. All right, so he targeted himself, so I'm assuming the Voodoo Doctor, right, that he got out of the Peddler. Targets the Flame Tongue? Searing? All right, discards that, hopefully not Silverware. All right, just get Silverware. So it's not over yet, folks, not over yet. Primal Fusion's good, we'll draw first, of course. Witch Doctor's nice. So definitely the Witch Doctor. Definitely the Primal Fusion onto here. Makes a dude, powers that dude up. So how much damage do we have? We've got 8, 9, 10, 17. So we could hit him for almost lethal, but you know what? I've had enough bad experiences with Zoo to know that we should just kill off everything they have and just leave it at that. I don't want to leave him with any creatures and put him at 2. I'd rather just kill his board, leave him with a 1/1. We have 2 taunts up for protection. You can be mad at me. Googly-eyed Octopops for 4. All right, Flame Imp to deal 3 to himself, and then I'm assuming the Power Overwhelming on his 1/1 to get through our 7/5, but that's not going to be enough. That's not enough, my friend. You can't even be mad to lose to Totem Shaman when you're playing like fucking Zoo, man. So we'll play one more, and hopefully we can pull off another win and play against another pretty sizable deck. A recent opponent would like to be your friend. This is gonna be good. All right, it's gonna be the Spell Power Totem shenanigans. Watch. We'll even shoot him the GG. It's the same dude. Oh man, this is gonna be one interesting fight. All right, so I think we keep one Rock Biter. Good game. That Damn and Spell Power Totem before Portal hurt. Yeah, see, that's what I do. At least he didn't BM about it though, right? He was like, ah, fucking portal, bitch. So we're playing the zoo again. So we know that, you know, if we can win this, this deck will be what, 4-1 or something like that. But if we lose it, that'll be pretty bad.
Get it out! Get it out!
So we coin into Golem, or we hold off and coin into Totemic, but I actually like coining into Golem here, because even if he goes abusive, he still can't get through the Totem Golem. And then we can just Rockbiter if he plays Flame Imp, or attack into Void Caller if he wants to. Okay. So maybe we'll draw into Tunnel Trog. We'll make the trade into the Peddler. All right, he goes face there. Thing from below. Our choices are to just attack into this 2/2 and to do nothing else, or do we Rockbiter our face, hit the 2/2, and then attack the 1/1? But then we're weak to an Abusive Sergeant. But going on turn 3, obviously there's no Defender of Argus yet. Using Rockbiter to clear off a Peddler that already generated him a 1/1 feels pretty bad. Using Rockbiter to kill things that trade up is pretty nice, but leaving it alive and this taking 2 damage. So if this takes 2 damage, right, it's a 3/2. And then this abusives and he has 2 cards left instead of the 1/1, but we keep the Rockbiter. But we know our turn is going to be a Totemic anyway. This is a hard one. I'm not sure. Healing off that. I think we do, because our turns are pretty panned out thus far. Because we have our turn 3 play, and then we have our turn 4 play. So there's no room for a Rockbiter in there, so we might as well clear the board the best we can for the following turns to kind of pave way. Because the second we can gain board, we're not losing it, not with this deck. So he's gonna Abusive Sergeant, which I said that's what this was weak to begin with. And it kind of stinks because the Tuskar can die to this Abusive Sergeant. But if we get like a Taunt Totem or some other decent totem, like the Mana Tide, we're actually going to be back in the game just because of that. So Tuskar Totemic is so broken, folks. So incredibly broken. So I wouldn't be surprised if he uses like a Soulfire on a Mana Tide just to get rid of it. And it's going to discard probably the Silverware Golem, knowing that he now plays it, and RNG will be on his side because we did pull off the victory before with ripping the Spell Totem into the Maelstrom Portal. On top of that, we have the double Primal Fusion, so by any means, if we can get 2 totems on the board and make some value trades there, I think that'll also be the difference between the gaming or not. So there's the Direwolf into the trade there, so we... So we can play Thing from Below and trade, or we can Hero Power make trade. Our Hero Power Primal, or we could just go with the Lightning Storm. So the Lightning Storm will have 3 mana next turn, which does not feel good. So Hero Power, Primal this, trade, then it's only a 4/1. Dies to this. I think our best bet is the Thing and then trade into the Dire. Doesn't feel good, but it's better than all of our other options. I just don't like leaving Abusive because our Thing from Below just basically dies to the Power Overwhelming. Yeah, he only spent 1 mana created by the Dark Peddler, literally lost nothing here, and he still has 4 mana to play with. Gang Boss is an issue. That's a card we definitely probably hex. We can't hex it. We'd have to, if we hex it, we only Hero Power. Or we could just go Tuskar Totemic, which I like a little bit more, and then Hero Power. Another Mana Tide, wow. So we could actually go Primal Fusion, and it would be a 2, nah, it's not worth it. That Totem RNG is killing me, dude. I feel you, but that's why this card is broken. That's what makes the Totem Shaman just broken, man. Like, even if this was a Flame Tongue Totem, it's still annoying. If it was a Totem Golem, you would be crying. But a Mana Tide, at least, you know, it doesn't effectively buff the board. It allows us to draw, which is bad. But you know what? You're a Warlock. You slap yourself in the face, take 2 damage, and draw 1. So, but granted, yes, double Mana Tide in the game is brutal. All right, so he buffs this to 3. Is going to make the trade into the Mana Tide Totem. We know we're going to, our board next turn is going to be insane. We could go into Wicked Witch Doctor, Primal Fusion, and then we get, you know, 2 more totems and get to Power Health buff. Or we could go into the, it's looking pretty favorable right here. We could go into Hex this, swing our 1/1 into there. What if we just Lightning Storm? We Hero Power, hopefully Lightning Storm. Clear board, that does not feel good. I feel like the Hex is the right play, but then what do we do past that? Uh-oh. We should have attacked the wolf first. Still not too bad though. So if we Lightning Storm, the problem is if we Lightning Storm now. And it hits 2. We are running out of time. I think we can Golem here, make this trade, and make that trade. I don't want a Primal Fusion. I don't want to blow up the board just yet. I want to use Lightning Storm, leave them with nothing, and then blow up the board. Or blow up the board with the Witch Doctor with the Lightning Storm, and then add the Primal Fusions. Abusive Sergeant would hurt because then you'd be able to make this trade, summon a dude. We definitely made a mistake last turn though, but that's because I'm not really sure what to do against this guy currently. Knife Juggler into Googly Eyed Octopops. Oh, into Doomguard, no Silverware. Fuck. Well, at least we have, like I said, the Lightning Storm, so. Well, we could get lucky. Alright, so it's gonna come down to, I guess we could Hex the Doomguard? Go Hero Power? And then Lightning Storm the next turn? Or do we just Lightning Storm this turn? And hopefully, I mean, that's a big risk. Because alright. So if we Hero Power, and it's not Spell Power Totem, we only are guaranteed to kill the Knife Juggler. So it's basically just a loss from there. So we have to Hex this. And then it's, I mean, I guess we can Lightning Storm from here, right? So it kills this, chance to kill this, doesn't kill that. Or we could Hero Power, and then the next turn, yeah, we're gonna Hero Power. All right, good. So next turn we go Witch Doctor, Hero Power, Lightning Storm. No, we don't have enough. We'll have 8 next turn. That will cost. So we can Witch Doctor. Well, we actually Witch Doctor, Primal Fusion, and then Lightning Storm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is good. This is okay. All right. Oh my gosh. All right, so this is good. So we want the chance that it rolls into the Spell Power. So using Primal Fusion first does not feel that bad here. That's not a Spell Power. We have another chance at a Spell Power. Not another Spell Power. All right, well, it was worth it. Spell Power? Fudge. All right, well, we'll see if it hits rolls high. Does not roll high on the Imp. It's definitely gonna kill the Juggles. It rolled high on everything else. Good stuff. The only reason I'm responding back is because we played him the game before. He has respect for the Totem Shaman. Alright, so there's the Googly Eyed Octopops. Hopefully we can draw into our Maelstrom Portal or another Lightning Storm, because we're about to take a beating here with this Knife Juggler, that's for sure. There's a Flame Tongue Totem, no draw mechanic. We have 7 mana and a lot of stuff to play, so we know we're gonna kill what he's got going on. We know this is gonna go in between here. So now our totems can make trades. We know that we're going to Primal Fusion something. I really don't mind putting the other Flame Tongue Totem in between this to buff it up even more. And now we can go ahead and give our, I think this is the best totem. Well, we can actually give it to our Taunt Totem. That'd be a little bit better, right? But then if we give it to our Taunt Totem, we attack into this, it basically does the same thing as doing the Healing Totem. Or what if we attack into here and then save this? Do we attack into the Imp Gang boss? I don't think so. I think we give it to the Taunt Totem. So is that almost, that's almost lethal. So I think we make this trade. And then we just go face with everything else. That's pretty good. We have a 10/10 Stone Claw Totem. Oh my gosh. The power. The power. All right. Well, maybe he has it. I don't know. But so far, the Totem Shaman really pulling through. Especially, like, even adding another Maelstrom seems to be like a sizable card to play right now, just due to the fact that, you know, we've played 2 or 3. This is the second time playing this aggressive deck, but there's another chance playing another aggressive. Like, we played the aggro shaman, right? And then we also played 2 zoos in a row. Same guy, but he's still, you know, still it. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the deck guide, and I hopefully explained myself fairly well. Again, the deck can be, make some few changes. I'm sorry for, you were the only person to beat me in the past 2 hours. Well, that's the Totem Shaman, man, the power. But anyway, normally I don't talk to our opponents because it takes away from the deck guide, but I figured since we played the same guy twice and he's being friendly, we might as well have a little conversation in there. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the deck and the deck guide and it does well for you, let me know. If there's any changes that you've made and they worked out well for you, let me know. And hopefully you've enjoyed, like I mentioned before. If there's anything else that you feel like mentioning in the comment section below, I do my best to try to read all of them and get back to you guys. So if you have any feedback, of course, I'm always here, open ears. Welcome to the inn for those of you who are new, and for those veteran inmates, always glad to have you. I'm Warshak, of course, and happy whatever the hell day it is.